and welcome to another episode of Pull the Chart. And today we are going to do the woman everyone is obsessed with. She has been called the obsession of the year by GQ. She's been called a post-feminist bombshell. She's been called the post-woke girl next door. Sydney Sweeney!
Hooray!
Yay! Get ready. I'll give you a quick little pinch about her background. Her mom was a criminal defense attorney. Her dad was in
Oh,
hospitality. She grew up religious, had a very religious family, a working class family. She was very active in sports. In high school, she was in the robotics and the math club. When she wanted to start acting, she gave her parents a 5-year business plan to convince them. And one of her goals with this business plan was to make enough money to buy a house for her parents to get her parents back together. Yes. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up her chart and let's dive right in. Here we have Sydney Sweeney's birth chart. We have a good birth time. She is a Virgo Sun, Scorpio Rising, and a Capricorn Moon. She has her sun conjunct the North Node on her midheaven, which is like kind of a fame placement, right?
I
In
agree.
terms of
Yeah,
like influencing, Virgos. What do you want to talk about Virgos? Meticulous. Whereas a Gemini goes for lots of curious details, or Virgo will dig in to get down to their answer. So they are better at discerning all of the information that comes through and they filter it down. They're the
Mm.
sign of alchemy, which is like taking the idea, bringing it down and making it work. So here it is with her North Node. One of the first things that you just have to see with her chart is that this Pluto right here. So why is everyone so obsessed with Sydney Sweeney? It's that. It's
Exactly.
Pluto. She is someone to be reckoned with, likes to be in control and in charge. She's strong, magnetic, and intense. She is aware of her ego, right? And she's able to show like kind of many faces to the world. And you see that through her PR press and then also the roles she takes and then private and her quiet life, private quiet life. Um, so it does have a hard aspect here up to her Mercury, which can make you appear argumentative, uncooperative, and disagreeable, in case you're wondering about her face in that interview. um, People who have this can have people obsessed with them. Like they can have stalkers. Like I love all the articles. I just want to write in Pluto on her ascendant. Done. Answered your question. You don't need to write your article. Nailed it for
Mhm.
you. Mm. I also, so there's some things in her chart I really, really love. And feel free to jump in at any time. So this Mercury up here, Mercury in Virgo in the ninth house, right away is like, you're going to do well in advertising and propaganda. And I was like, oh, she nails it. Here's
Mhm.
someone who's cool, logical, impersonal thinking, like her mind sorts through everything to see what she needs, displays strong common sense. She's honest, and we will get to a lot of quotes with her. Um, Skeptical and intolerant of those less intelligent to you.
Oh,
Whoops.
ouch.
Yeah. Which ask her a dumb question, you might get a look back, right? You might get this Pluto might pop in there. That's what that really feels like to me.
I think we've seen that phase.
I think so too. Down here, she has an unaspected Saturn. So she
Hmm.
can be very demanding individual. Nothing can ever be good enough, always trying harder, very self-disciplined. One of the things, because it's also has Aries here, right? It's an Aries.
Hmm.
Could be a little egocentric, like difficult to like recognize kind of the rights of others. She could end up with like a jealous boyfriend, jealous mate. Um, she also, with it being retrograde, she might fear some rejection.
Hmm.
Um, avoid situations that may cause this, like she might actually avoid those situations, or she'll get very clear on who you are, where you're going, and what you'll do to get there. So I'll bring in one of these things about this fear of rejection right now. So in 2021, by the way, I have gobs of notes, so be patient with me. In 2021, on Twitter, she had a little crying breakdown, had a little ugly crying breakdown because someone called
Oh,
her ugly.
oh.
And she goes, I think it's really important for people to see how words actually affect people.
Oh.
And I was like, okay. But I don't think she's cried since then or said anything since then, really. But I was like, oh, okay, there was this one moment, which she would have been younger, but she's only like 28. She's pretty young. So I was like, okay, that makes some sense to me. She has, okay, we're going to jump over to, I'm going to go to her Mars first. I'm going to leave this for a moment. We're going to go to her Mars here. Mars in the 12th house, powerful and secretive, self-disciplined, self-reliant, won't act until she knows the correct course of action, planner, strategist, kind of all or nothing. Okay. We're going to like kind of really dig into this one too with some of her aspects as well. So one of the things she has said is that she's not interested in dating around. She's a bit of a hopeless romantic and she hoped that love finds her. Now she has been engaged and called it off. And she called the guy her producer partner, which
Hmm.
when your sixth house and seventh house are ruled by the same, you tend to date someone that you work with. So that also, therefore, made a whole lot of sense to me. Um, let's go into her. Oh, I also love this for strategy planning because it's sextiles right up here to her sun. I mean, she just plans. And remember, she has this propaganda advertising edge to her.
Hmm.
Okay. Now you have this Venus at 0 degrees of Scorpio. You have people just magnetized to you in the house of 11th house of like the masses, the people. Once again, you can't shut up about her. And there's part two of my answer to all of those articles. So very artistic. So this together with Chiron here. So it's a lot about like artistic transformation and using her sexuality. And she considers women's bodies are beautiful and powerful tools.
Oh.
Okay. So she knows how to use her body a little bit. Um, so using her body, here you are, you have someone who can keep secrets, she can keep things under wrap, right? Also, I feel like men, ugh, she has to be really careful, I think, around men. I think they get that like googly eyed thing with her.
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay. I'm going to jump down to Moon and Capricorn, traditional family values, right? Grew up in a religious household, a lot of parental involvement. Her mom is the one, when turned 18, she wanted to do a breast reduction. Her mom's like, don't own your body. And she did. Um, I like this here. This feels like so Capricorn moon, right? Wants to be recognized and as important, can be very emotionally sensitive, but like can wall it off,
Hmm.
which made me think like, oh, that Twitter comment when it was Twitter before X. She can be a little critical of others. And then she has Neptune here, right? So it kind of like she has this idea of like maybe what others should be like. Can be a little cold, acts with personal dignity, which I feel like you see now she knows when to talk and when not to talk.
Hmm.
Can be a little non-emotional. Um, can be popular or notorious. I think she plays both. Cautious with money, which made me think about her parents wanting to buy them a house to get them back together. But this is also a mood that like, and there's like a quote like, no one in the world loves me, likes me. And I was like, oh, she definitely has these moments
Hmm.
where this comes up. Okay, so her Jupiter here. I'm literally just bouncing all over the place. Unaspected as well.
Hmm.
Okay. She can form her own beliefs at an early age, doesn't care what others think. Like you can expand and grow in your own way. And she has her own way in which she's like trying to do the Hollywood thing. Can offer new thoughts to the world in a new way. Do you have any thoughts on the placements before we like go into some of the aspects?
Well, her Jupiter's retrograde.
Mm-hmm. I think it took a
So
while for her to get to that point of like,
I agree. I
I don't care
agree.
what people think of me. Mm-hmm.
I agree. And oh, hello, Saturn return coming.
Yeah. So her
Her first
Jupiter,
one.
oh, I'm gonna go back to her Jupiter.
Hmm.
So she has said she has a group of friends outside of Hollywood, and that's what keeps her grounded.
Hmm.
And here's a quote: I'm not here to tell people what to think. I'm just here to kind of open their eyes to different ideas. And she personally gravitates to complicated characters and stories that are maybe morally questionable and hard to like, but then you can find the humanity underneath them. I
That's
was like,
beautiful.
yeah.
Hmm.
And she has says, I know who I am. I know what I value. I know that I'm a kind person. I know that I love a lot. And I know that I'm just excited to see what happens next. And so I don't really let other people define who I am. And I was like, okay, probably took a little time to get there, but yeah.
Wow.
All right, you want to go to Saturn?
Sure.
Okay, what were you going to say about Saturn, or did I interrupt
Well,
you?
first of all, she probably is really good at sports. Would love to know what sports she played, but
A
she's
lot of water sports, and then she did kickboxing, which is why she did the Christie movie.
yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. You can see
Mhm.
that right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's definitely very active. Um, I so the Christie movie didn't do very well. And this was in the midst of all of this like talk from the American Eagle ad. And her comment about it was, we don't always just make art for numbers, we make it for impact.
Hmm.
So I don't know much about this one, but it was something that had to do with like starts with like domestic violence. And I didn't realize in the American Eagle, she designed the Sydney jeans, which the money was donated to a crisis text line for domestic violence. So I think that got lost as well in
Yeah.
the political spin.
Hmm.
Um, Speaking of the political spin, so this sextile here, by the way, GQ, I read the entire GQ interview, by the way. You know how everyone just sees like the one little clip? I read the entire interview. I
Hmm.
recommend people. My wish for Christmas is that people read the full interviews. That's all. All right. So this here, GQ in the opener called her a market and politics moving force of culture.
Hmm.
How do you like that
Wow.
for, right?
It's a lot.
Right? I was like, oh. And she said about, because the whole interview was pretty good. Her comment from the interview that got stuck in the memes was, I think that when I have an issue that I want to speak about, people will hear. And then later in the interview, she said, and because I knew at the end of the day what that ad was for, and it was for great genes, it didn't affect me one way or the other. Whoops, we forgot to like finish the interview, didn't we?
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. In the interview, they asked what she found in common with this like Christie woman, and she goes, "I find myself in a lot of battles, both in front and not in front of the world."
Mhm.
And I was like, "Oh, this feels like this Mars here, right?" I was like, "Oh, so good." I gotta tell you, just go through interviews. You'll learn all about people's charts. Mhm. She's also has said multiple times she's got more to experience, learn, and try all the time. Um, let's see. Oh, I got lots of quotes for her. All right. There is I want to talk a little bit about her strategy. So she has a strategy, which shocking, right? Not surprised. So when we look at, she has said to court a generation raised on the internet, she needed to think of exposure beyond TV and movies. Now it's like, okay, here we're playing into this Mercury.
Right.
Also, your sun and your trine here, right? Ambition to succeed, making money off of these deals. She goes, if I just acted, I wouldn't be able to afford my life in LA. I take deals because I have to.
Mm.
Um, so I feel like here as well, like this planner strategist, and then you also have the seventh house. And I thought about like, okay, so when you do partnerships and deals, this is ruled here. So I feel like this is a lot of like these advertising partnerships. Like, I need you talking about me. Like, I feel like even this sextile is we're in an attention is like the new currency, right? It's an attention economy.
Yeah.
I feel like she kind of knows this and she uses it. And I think she uses it in a way that's she knows when now to hold back and when to speak. She's going to star in an upcoming movie, and the novelist who wrote the book said about her, when we met, it was immediately obvious, which I was like, oh, here we go. Immediately obvious to me that Sydney was very savvy, that she was very self aware about the way she is viewed in the world down here, and that she wanted to take charge of her own career. And I was like, oh, okay. Um, she also made a comment I thought was really good. This was like from an older interview, and she goes, I didn't go to school to learn politics or social issues, and doesn't think speaking on things that she's not fully educated on is the correct way to use her social media presence.
Good for her.
Right? I was like,
Mhm.
I think we missed the point on her a little bit.
Mhm.
I think you looked at literally like this was a huge interview, and you pulled the smallest one line answer from one of the questions. It was so much more in that interview. And I was like, okay, sound bites, which she does make comments about. I know a lot of this. She goes, I understand, I get it. It's your headline, and those won't change because that's what gets you clicks. Like, she's like, I know. This is how we play the game. Um,
I think we're also a society of, I'm going to fill in the blanks to your silence rather than,
that's at the end of the interview.
oh, it is?
They make a
Oh,
comment and well, do you want to talk about this? She goes, no, I'm gonna let you throw it at the board.
yeah. And I just think that's how we are now,
Hmm.
sadly.
Yeah. And you can see that they're trying to, so I think it's so interesting too, is you have Virgo and Scorpio, like the Madonna and the whore. And it's like the public is really trying to brand her as this like sex symbol.
Right.
And but when you look at the roles she picks and she's super intentional and she's already produced and she bought the movie and the screenplay immaculate, the screenplay and produced it herself. And it's all about like body autonomy, the institutional control of women, the fetishization of female suffering. Like she picks these like meaty roles.
I kind of think that this her Venus and Chiron
Hmm.
in Scorpio in the 11th house is speaking directly to that.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think I'm like, oh, this is really, she's way more layered, I think, than they, I feel like they really old, like old Hollywood always wanted to like have their like branded, like the, what's her name? Like the Carmen Electra, or like, I think she
Mhm,
even mentioned like Pamela Anderson, or
mhm.
who's the one that just had the baby with MGT, whatever his name is, Megan something. They want to brand her this way, and she's like, no, thank you. I mean, she was a math lead or whatever in robotics. Like, yeah, good luck trying to pigeonhole her that way. Yeah, she said, a woman's body is a very beautiful, powerful tool. Being able to change my body and appearance to be able to become other characters is a challenge. That we're capable of doing stuff like that and being able to tell stories through our bodies. I've always looked at it as my body is another tool to tell a story. I was like, I feel like she is, like she said, I find empowerment by embracing the body I have.
Mhm.
What do you think? I just love like giving you a full rundown of everything. What are your thoughts on her?
Couple things I
Yes,
see.
bring it.
Her little hidden Mars there in the 12th house is sextiling and trining.
Mm-hmm. Her nodes.
Yeah, so this is really important work that she's doing, that she's bringing it out, out of the dark, out of realms that we're not really aware of. And it's Mars, so it is going to be that masculine kind of energy that's going on with that correlates with all of her statements. I want to talk about Neptune.
We love Neptune. Give it to
Yes,
us.
we do. We do. And so we always say Neptune glamorizes the sign that it's in, and it's in Capricorn, snuggied up against her moon there. So I think
Mm-hmm.
there could be some, I don't want to say depression or anything like that, but I think she wavers a little bit with how she's perceived and how she is
Mm-hmm.
accepted. But I also think glamorizing Capricorn would, to me,
That's
be
not easy.
well, I mean, that's the CEO. That is, these are my contracts, these are my terms, this is what I'm going to do. And the fact that she wrote down a 5-year plan of her of her acting career, oh boy, yeah, she got it. I mean, Neptune in her acting career. I'm going to be literal here. And put it all to good use to make money, enough money, Capricorn, to buy a house for her
Yeah.
parents.
And I love that you're honest there. Like,
Yeah,
she's working the social media, she's working the
yeah.
internet,
Hmm.
she's letting them do the talking.
Hmm.
It's pretty incredible. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she just had her nodal, the North Node, nodal opposition, which
Yeah. Opposition.
is not hard, not easy.
Mm-mm.
So your world's a little flipped upside down. So,
Yeah.
would you like to look at the chart of the actual American Eagle ad?
Sure.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Here we have the chart layered with Sydney Sweeney's. So this inside wheel is Sydney's birth chart. These are her progressions. And then this is the actual transits of the day of the ad, which I put at midnight because it's the internet. So, what do you see? What do you think? Do you want me to I
Yeah.
first,
Go ahead.
first thing I circled was, okay, we've got the nodal opposition and we've got Mars in Virgo. which is a sign of like purification and all this thing. And I feel like she just got attacked. Like
She did.
she got attacked. This felt like a very critical media.
Mhm.
Very, very critical. Um, but good news, her progressed Venus. So you were talking about her. So there you go. And the moon was going through her first house, which is,
Right.
here we are talking about her persona. You're still obsessed with her. Okay. Also, I love that this moon was in Sagittarius because it felt like my face is everywhere. It just felt very wide reaching.
Mhm.
Like we projected my face out and here's the conversation. Um I kind of thought this was kind of funny.
Yes.
Right? I was like, and then here I was like, payday,
Yeah.
which American Eagles shares went up 38%.
Well, and then look how it's right on top of her Uranus.
Mm-hmm. This was good. They're going to do more collaborations with her. They're like, this was fantastic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Um, I also thought this was funny in the eighth house. Here's a taboo topic. Here is Cancer in the family. You're talking about like genes and genes, the G and the J,
Mhm.
right? Cultural conversations is what this felt like to me. And then here I felt like the public divided. This is how I kind of read this chart. Anything else you see? Where's our good friend? Oh, oh man. Okay. Here's your glamorized Neptune
Yes.
in the body,
Yeah.
in the fourth house of home, of like,
Hmm.
right? Here's our roots. What's our roots, right? What's the cultural roots? Also, it's just jeans. But I wore my white t-shirt today for you. Um, yeah, I mean, it was interesting. I mean, you even have Mercury up here. I mean, this was loud conversations, like, whoa, were the voices loud,
It was very loud.
very loud. Everyone had an opinion. Good
They really
golly.
did. Yeah. Hmm.
Um, Anything else you see in this chart? And then we can go to the actual interview.
Let's go to the interview.
Let's go to the interview. Okay, here we have the interview with GQ. GQ, which I also think is funny. I think the magazine episode timing was right around the time of Man of the Year, right? So here we have on the inner wheel, Sydney's birth chart, her progressions, which haven't moved. Maybe her
No.
moon moved a little bit. Now her moon's on top of this Uranus, her progressed moon, and then the transits in the sky. All right, what do you think?
Well, I like that the interviews, Mars and Mercury are both in the first house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, playing here.
Yeah.
I feel like she held her ground.
Yeah, exactly. She,
It's actually a really good interview if you'd like to go read the
hmm
rest of it, everybody. It was actually
hmm
really lovely. I kind of wonder, I don't know the name of the interviewer. Isn't that funny? And I read the interview. I didn't even think to look at the author's name. But there was an image, one of the photos. The woman was like slumped down, and Sydney was like sitting tall. And I was like, did they teach you how to interview people and have proper like posture?
well, but we don't know what she was, what the interview was. It feels like insecurity to me.
Yeah. No, if you, I read the article, but if you go and look and you're like, that's the photo GQ chose of their
Yeah.
interviewer to post,
Hmm.
it was a little odd to me.
Hmm.
Um, the sun here in the 12th, her 12th, I feel like they were trying to get like a got you moment with just that
Right.
one question and it didn't work out well.
Yeah, good luck.
Right? Right? Didn't work. Um, let's see here. Okay, so you had Jupiter in the sky was actually perfectly across from your favorites.
Hmm.
What did you think? What do you think of that? And this is eighth and two. Like, I'm like drawing this like,
Like
oh.
Cancer and Capricorn, there's your parents. But Jupiter, he's up there being happy, not retrograde, so he really made this big.
Because I'm going to take this only question that had the one line answer. I'm going to take that from the
Yeah.
entire huge article of all these. I mean, the
Hmm.
interviewer had really good questions that they like had a lovely conversation on. And
Hmm.
that's the one little piece they pulled out. I think as the interviewer, I'd be a little pissed. Be like, but the rest of my interview was good.
Oh, I'm sure they got used to it.
Right.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
this
I was looking at that too.
in the fifth house. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of that?
Oh, well, a moon in Aries, in the fifth house. So,
Hmm.
they come out swinging.
Just felt like
So
a
I think that I feel there was probably an expectation of how this interview was going to go, and minds were changed. And here it is, Chiron in the house of Aries. So it's the healing of the me,
Mhm.
you know, in the house of her, of fun and joy and creativity, you know,
Yeah.
to
I
have
mean,
the moon, Aries moon and Chiron in there, almost on top of her own Saturn.
yeah.
Oh, no, you don't.
Most of the interview was about like her acting roles and a lot of like information on like how she like markets herself. And then
Mhm.
there was just like one to two questions on this. I just
Yeah.
felt like that was the piece pulled, and it was like a personal attack on her.
Hmm.
Which, okay, so when you're asked to do your American Eagle advertisement, right? So, Patty, they're like, would you like to come model for our jeans and design one and put it towards charity? And you're like, oh my God, I'd love to.
Hmm.
She doesn't write the ads. I'm like, so weird to me. And they were
Hmm.
asking her, like, what did you think of this? She goes, I was filming Euphoria. I was working 16-hour days. My phone is off. I go home. I'm exhausted. I sleep. She goes, I didn't even really know. She's like,
Right.
I'm not paying attention. Right. The media is just like whoosh, swirling. And she's like, hell if I know.
Well, and Libra in the left, Libra, excuse me, let me try that again.
You talking about this guy?
Venus in Libra, Venus in Libra is opposing. It did feel like so it's
Mm,
opposing. There you go.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it looks like the opposing sign. Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, it's also her progressed sun is opposing her own Saturn.
Hmm.
I feel like too, like there was, if you look at this in terms of like a sense of justice, I felt like that question was one of like, do you want to bend and people please? Do you want to, what do you want to do here? And she
Hmm.
was like, it's a jeans ad, which they completely missed the other comment that I read to you that she was like, it's a jeans ad.
Exactly. Exactly.
So I pulled two more charts because we can do the first one and it'll be pretty quick. Because I think it really works in how she does marketing of herself and
Great.
how she's very tied into the marketing of her movies. Okay, so I'm gonna pull the first one and it will be her and Glen Powell. Okay. I have Sydney Sweeney on the inner wheel and Glen Powell, which was her co-star for Anyone But You. And the whole thing around this movie was there a showmance? Were they together? Were they not? They were both seeing other people. and neither one of them would comment on it. So, were they or weren't they? Is it part of her master marketing plan? I have my thoughts. What do you think? Where do you want to pull some info?
I don't think they were.
I don't think so either. I think this is the master marketing plan of
Yeah, yeah, it doesn't, I
let's
don't see that there.
yeah, so she was saying she was on every marketing call, everything.
Hmm.
And I was like, "Oh, I liked this for them. Like it's in Virgo. Yeah, it's on the North Node, but maybe it's just more of a friendship. It's in the 10th house of like great co-star chemistry."
Yeah, I don't see Virgo really like the affair type of people anyway.
Yeah, and she comes from like kind of a background of
Hmm.
very religious. Um, you're a Neptune. I was like, boop, boop. They're like,
Yeah,
hey, how can we really, really give this movie? And the movie did great because I
yeah.
think so many people were wrapped up in this story. I also felt like this here, this opposition
Hmm.
between, I felt like this was like an act for publicity.
Hmm.
I was like, oh, also, I found that they personally are just
Right.
like, there's like a number of years, and I think they're perfectly it. I think is it 11 years? Is like, don't date. You'll get
Mm-mm.
divorced. Don't do it. You're at an opposition of like your purposes are like opposite. So it's a tough one. Yeah, I say friends too. You say friends too.
I say friends.
Friends.
Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna do one last one is we're gonna do the alleged Zendaya. Zendaya. Sorry if I
Okay.
butcher her name. Allegedly, she is refusing to walk or do press with Sydney for Euphoria because of her political views, and she's got so much heat on her. So I'm going to pull up their two charts. Okay, on the inside is Sydney. The outside is Zendaya. Both have good birth times, so we've got some good moons here too. Um, so this is allegedly refusing to walk or do press with her. And I don't know, I felt like this here, I would have thought they would be, you could respect each other's point of view.
Yes.
That's what I would have thought. But then I was like, uh-oh,
Yeah.
Zendaya's got this.
Hmm.
This can be a little uncomfortable. Might come across as like a romantic person. Ready? She can demand a lot from loved ones and may feel disconnected or angry if they don't live up to her expectations.
Yeah.
This feels like a hot girl fight.
Hmm.
I'm just gonna call this hot girl fight. Um, yeah. And then yeah, this is right across from Sydney here.
I just want to say this. You
Yeah,
both are pretty. You're both pretty.
girl fight. This could be a
Which
great marketing. Didn't they already have like a
I
fight in
know
Euphoria? I don't
you
know. I didn't
have.
watch that show either because it scared me to think what these kids are doing in high schools.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. So yeah, this to me, I even like was like looking, I'm like, okay, what? I'm like, they actually have a lot of similar, like besides Saturn for both of them having their Saturns, which are both going to go through their Saturn returns,
Hmm.
and both having their Plutos, neither one of them has any fire. Isn't that interesting?
That is interesting.
They're a year apart in age, but yeah, they just to me, I'm like, I think this is playing in. If this is true, I think this is playing in a lot,
Hmm.
which yeah. I also didn't. I when I looked at Zendaya's chart, I didn't love this for her. I feel like this is gonna
No.
be tough. And then it trines your I was like, ooh, girl. I just wrote yuck. I was like,
Hmm.
yuck. And
Hmm.
then your ruler, the ruler for Aries is Mars. I'm like, oh, it just feels yucky, girl. I need you to keep your friends close. It
I
just feels really
agree.
yucky. So yeah, I don't know if this is true or not. No idea.
Hmm.
Yeah. So I kind of like the different ways she was being described, right? That we started the episode with. Like, now you know why you're all obsessed with her. She's got that 11th house, Venus
Mhm.
in Scorpio at 0 degrees, and Pluto right there on her ascendant. You have no choice. You're magnetically drawn to her. Suck it up. You're going to be obsessed with her forever, not just this year. I liked the idea of the post-woke girl next door. They described it as cute and down to earth, feminine and sensual. But she's also into cars, guns, sports. She did a whole thing with Ford and like redid a Mustang, which by the way, I will post the logo for the 2024 Mustang that she designed. She took two screws and she put them into a heart. And I was like,
Oh,
how, right? How Capricorn like hard metal of
yeah.
this like two like screw nuts as a heart. I was like, so cool.
Oh,
I
and
was
that's
like,
her fifth house. That's her fifth house Aries with Saturn there, you know?
right? That metal, the
Yeah.
burning, the turning of the metal into a heart.
Mhm.
So good, right? It just gives me chills. The fact that she can laugh at like boob jobs and sexuality when she was on SNL. Um, and she still finds marriage and motherhood as aspirational. And I was like, this is kind of where you see and hear some of the feminist movement that's got kind of like mushy around. Like it's not trad wife, it's this like mix of
Yeah.
like kind of where I think a lot of the girls are kind of moving. But I was like,
Mhm.
oh, okay. She might be you always hate the first one, right? You always have to burn the first one at the stake.
Yes. Yes.
So,
Yes.
but just remember she's a girl trying to make sense in a crazy world, living in accordance with her values. That's all I got for you. But yeah, I find her,
And she's so young and doing it. That's the other thing.
yeah. And I'm gonna guess a lot of people who do, we're gonna call it pop astrology, where you do like top level astrology and you see a Virgo Sun, a Scorpio Rising, and a Cat Moon are probably like, like she's hard, she's tough, she's mean. She's got a whole soft side of like femininity to her.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. So thanks for listening. Like, subscribe, follow along. Go ahead. You can tell us what you think about her in the comments, and I will then turn around and give you the aspects to either confirm or deny your allegations. Put me in a court of law. Um,
It would be a good conversation.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
please, please, please.
Mhm.
Yeah, and sometimes you can, and everything is a spectrum. So depending on how you learned or how you're looking at the full spectrum.
Mhm.
And she is learning. She's young. She's 28.
Yeah.
Got her Saturn return coming up. A lot of these pretty famous young girls do.
Mhm.
So it'll
Yeah.
be
I'm gonna catch them on the other side. See what the
Did
see
you
on
learn
the
your
flip
lesson?
side.
Did you watch the episode? Did you learn your lesson? Do that
Yeah.
again.
Yes.
All right. Thanks everybody. Like,
All right.
subscribe, follow us. Bye.